Nowhere does it anywhere say that. They're telling you that it's nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, and go ahead and nip the whole Yod. Go ahead and nip the when all them doing wrong too, but they stoning you. That sounds just like what they doing now, the government. Okay, so let's go ahead and nip the whole Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey thing that's in the DNA. Well, it's not. Okay, so it's so tricky and so confused. They implement confusion. A lot of you would, even through research, you still wouldn't know what they're talking about. But I'm gonna give it to you and try to give it to you real quick in a basic way. The Yod in Hebrew letters, the numbers, the characters have a number value too. So the Yod in the YH, WH, the W is pronounced Vav. So it's a V. They write it as a V, but mainly W. The pronouncing Yahweh is just how over time they got diluted and they just started changing it through the language. Then it changed to Jehovah, and now people saying Yahuwah.
And let me add, the original ineffable name was 72 letters, representing the 72 principalities that were assigned from the adversary kingdom over top of the different nations after they split everyone at the Tower of Babel. And this Yahuwah, Yahweh, Jehovah, also known as Enlil, and his grandson Utu, Shamash, was designated to the people of Israel, who later hijacked the land of Canaan and intertwined El and Yahweh into the Lord.
Or Yahweh. It's all the same. It's the tetragrammaton. Okay? It's magic. It's a form of wizardry. It's a being that's been using wizardry and blood magic on us.
And this is clear. When Moses is going back and forth with the Pharaoh and his sorcerers, all they're doing is going back and forth doing magic tricks. All right? If you think this is the true Most High living God, then you are still at a very low level.
That's what it is. All right, the symbol for it is the pentagram. That is the tetragrammaton. It's the pentagram. So if you worship Yahweh, then you should be wearing a pentagram everywhere you go. So Yod is the 10. All right. Now they try to say that Yod is a 1. So if you take 10 and with numbers, the 1 plus a 0 is a 1. But the problem with that is they already got a 1. They already have a 1.
The Aleph, the bull, which is also the bull of heaven in Leal. Okay? This is much deeper than you think from this book that you read. And even today with these factions of groups that are being led off of revenge and hate and things, it's still deception. And I want to give you a disclaimer with this video. Most of you aren't going to have a clue what's being said. You're going to be so lost in this small, short presentation, but yet you will still regurgitate what you've been told, that Yahweh is in the blood. It's in the DNA. So that has to be God, which you have no clue what you're speaking of. You absolutely have no clue. And this was not even a thing until the Clinton Foundation hired doctors, Fauci being among them, the same little trolls and wizards that had to do with the CV-19 are the same ones that told you that Yahweh is in the DNA. But yet some of you just blindly share these things and really think it's true.
in the Hebrew number system. So already they doing manipulation, saying the Yod is 10, but it's 1. Okay, we'll let that slide. So the 4 things they're saying that is found in the DNA is hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen. Okay, that's what they saying. Oh, they found Yahweh in the DNA. Well, no, they talking about 4 elements: hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. Where did anybody say that Yahweh was that? For one, nowhere does it anywhere say that. They're telling you that it's nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon.
And all of this goes back to the Kabbalah. But yet, anybody that's claiming they're a Hebrew Israelite today has no knowledge. And if they do, it's very low level knowledge of the Kabbalah. And their excuse will be that that wasn't the real doctrine, that was, a hijacked version of it. Well, the Kabbalah is the only place you can find the 613 laws that you all are trying to run back to, that you were set free from Christ.
Okay, now the way they did this was they tried to do it with the mass of the elements, okay? The atomic mass or the atomic number. So with the Yod, they say it's 10, but they said it's 1. They tried to say that's hydrogen, which is actually the H. So wouldn't that be the Hey? So they already moved the H to the Yod, the Y, and said that's hydrogen. Oh, but hydrogen's atomic mass is not 1. It's 1.008. So we're going to do the same thing they're doing, adding up numbers. That's actually a 9. It's not a 1 and it's not a 10. It's a 9. So already they done moved the H to the Y and said it's hydrogen. And it's not a 1 or a 10. It's a 9. And you can say it's the first element. So we can say, all right, it is a 1. It's the first element. It's the first, it's the first one on the periodic table. Okay, we'll let that slide. So the Yod is a 1 and that's hydrogen. All right. So going by that thought process, that would mean the Hey, the H, Yod, Hey, the H in Yahweh the value of the Hey is 5. So that would mean going by, if it's the 1 is the hydrogen, the first element, that means the Hey would have to be the 5th element, correct? Well, the 5th element is boron. Boron is the 5th element, represented by B. Okay, so now we have the Yod, B, the Yubba, the Yabahe. So already now it's not Yahweh in your DNA, it's Yubba. So far we have,
which is connected to Yaldabaoth and Saboeth, where you get your Shabbat, your Sabbath, your Saturn day. It is Saturn worship, Saturnalia. Okay? This is why Christ clearly said that man is not made for the Sabbath. Sabbath was made for man. Speaking about Saturn, how you've allowed the God of this world to hijack everything that you are.
Yubba. And the Y got moved too. So really it's Hubba. We got Hubba in your DNA, but it's Yahweh though. Yahweh's in the DNA. Okay. So boron is the 5th element and the atomic mass is 10.81. 10? But the Yod is 10. Oh, wait. So what's going on? Is the Yod the 10? Is the Yod the 10? Is it boron the 5? Is it the hydrogen is the 1? What's going on? They don't even know. They feed it to you because they know that if they put it on a meme, you're going to just say it and just say, Yahweh's in the DNA.
Exactly.
No, it's not. So, moving on, Yod, Hey, neither one. Oh, the hydrogen you might be able to make go to the 1, okay? The Hey is 5, it's boron. Or you might say, well, maybe that's the atomic mass. There's no element on the periodic table that has an atomic mass of 5. None.
Now let me ask you. I know many of you, and I'm not knocking you, but I know many of you won't have the intelligence to even comprehend what's being said right now. So why wouldn't you have the wisdom to hold your tongue and not speak on things that you don't have the authority to speak on? If you can't understand this, then why are you repeating this? Why are you saying, oh, Yahweh is in the DNA? It's called confusion. And the true creator is not the author of confusion.
So there's nothing you can put in the hay. And the hay is in there twice. 2 H's. So they got 2 slots that you can't put nothing in. The only thing you can put in that slot is boron. That's an atomic mass of 10.81. And I ain't never heard of boron in your blood. They ain't never said, oh, oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and boron. Come on, man. So, moving on to the vibe. The W, the vibe. That's a 6. They try to say that's carbon. The 6th element. Well, carbon's a C. And the atomic mass is 12.011. Okay? So even if we add up 12, 1, 2, and 1, 1, that's 5. So we don't have a 6, we got a 5, we got a 12, and we got a C, which is the 3rd letter. So if we go by what they're telling you, we got Habakkuk in the DNA. But they told you Yahweh's in the DNA. No. They're preying on your intelligence. The tree of knowledge and good and evil. It's what they've done to our ancestors. To us. And guess what? We coming up out of it. And it's a beautiful thing, y'all.